It is Stugotz and Company, presented by FanDuel. A very special guest, normally a God Bless football guest, but he is joining us for his first time here on Stugotz and Company.
How different is this?
His voice. Well, he lost his voice, and Chris Sims is our regular Thursday guest here on God Bless Football. But Mike Golic Sr. is back with us. Hopefully, the voice is feeling a little bit better.
It's definitely feeling better. I'm just trying to show my versatility by being on multiple shows.
Right.
So that's all. It's.
Right.
I hope it feels better than it sounds.
Yeah. But let me tell you, it was, as you guys all know, being in this business, when your voice goes, I mean, I was supposed to call the Monday night game with Kevin Harlan, the Cowboys and the Raiders, but I would have done it, but it would have been 3 hours of scratching nails on a chalkboard, and I couldn't do that to Kevin Harlan. So I had to, Kurt Warner had to fill in. And I was like, God, I hated missing, but it's the way it goes sometimes.
At what stage did Kevin Harlan say, Mike, this ain't fucking happening tonight? Like, I cannot call the game with you like this.
I was actually in Vegas, but it was in the morning, and I was going to do the show I do with Mike on FanDuel Sports Network, and I couldn't do that. Jason Fitz filled in, and I was trying to drink a lot of tea, and I just, I was talking with the producer, and he's just like, I'm like, I'll do it. I have no problem. And he's like, yeah, he goes, it just sounds bad. And, 3 hours of that would be awful.
I'm not accusing you of this, Mike, but if one were to want a day off and that person happens to use their voice, isn't it just super easy to just go in the backyard, scream at the top of your lungs for about 10 minutes and be like, oh, Kevin Harlan, can you hear it in my voice? I'm terribly sick. Again, not saying that you did this.
No, I've done it.
Would that be something you could do if you needed a day off?
I thought the accusation would be I was in Vegas and would I just take the game off to go gamble, and just stay in the casinos.
Right.
But no, I hate missing. God, I hate missing. I hate it. Even from the days of playing, I wouldn't miss a game. It was just awful, but it was certainly better for the show.
Israel, he hated missing Tuesday, and he doesn't get paid to do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you were to want a day off,
wait, I don't get paid to
that'd
do
be a
this?
strategy.
You haven't yet. And by the way, you can't. Vegas cannot be your excuse ever. If your excuse is, hey, Vegas, you're going to get fired, right?
That's true. I should probably not use that as an excuse, right? That I'm gambling. Of an FBI investigation.
Yes. Mike, I'll get to the college football rankings with you in just a second here. But I was wondering, because Andy Reid so well, and people are starting to question whether or not the Chiefs are done, if they're going to make the playoffs. What do you think Andy Reid is telling his team at this juncture in the season? Because I would imagine the notion of them being done at 5-5 is laugh out loud funny to someone like Andy Reid.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I'm sure Andy Reid is just like, stay with the process, right? Their process has worked for years. They have a lot of the same personnel. They get Jason Simmons back, last week, who had personal issues and with the family and missed at left tackle. O-line had been a concern for them. It was a concern coming into the year. Pacheco is out there relying on Kareem Hunt. They have the receivers, but the defense hasn't really been playing up to par, but their process for them has worked. Andy Reid has been in this business too long to panic and say, oh my God, we need to change everything. Right. He knows his personnel. He knows what's going on. He knows they're still in it, though they're in a more precarious position this year than they've been in a while.
So here's my question on the Chiefs, right? Every loss that they've had is a one-score loss.
Yes.
Right? And when they were winning every one-score game that they played in, everybody was like, this team really knows what it's doing. So is it a matter of just kind of, they're slightly off, or is all that stuff about one-score games just BS and the league is just really close?
Oh, the league is just really close. I compare one-score wins and losses to turnovers. You can have a bunch one year, but you can't rely on it the next year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't have them in a year and then the next year say, well, we're going to be guaranteed 35 turnovers because we did it last year. They were 12-0 in one-score games last year, and now they haven't won a one-score game this year. They come in bunches and then they go. You can't rely on them. You can't put it in the algorithm to say, okay, since it happened last year, it's going to happen this year.
Mike, would you play Jackson Dart the rest of the season? Would you play him?
Yeah, he needs the reps. He's got to learn. I mean, coach the guy to stop dropping his shoulder and trying to run people over.
Right.
I mean, or stop calling runs for him. Now, you want to use his ability to run. It was like Josh Allen's second year in the league after he ran like crazy his first year. The second year, they were like, God, we got to protect him. We can't run him as much. And all of a sudden, they weren't as good. And they're like, okay, Josh, go back to doing what you do. And they started winning again. Josh Allen puts a cape on. So Jackson Dart is going to run at times, but he's got to be smarter. I mean, you don't see Josh Allen, he runs, but he doesn't drop his shoulder every time and try and barrel somebody over.
Right.
Jackson Dart has to be coached and then has to take the coaching, and he has to be smarter when he runs.
Mike, speaking of should they play, Joe Burrow had a full participation in practice this week. Now, they're 3 games behind the Steelers. There's 7 games left. Are we rushing him back here, or do you think like the Bengals could possibly make a run here?
He has to do 11 on 11 drills. They haven't done that yet. My guess is they'll do that this morning.
So I was talking with Mike on our show about this yesterday, and obviously they're not certainly not out of it. They're close to being out of it, but they're not out of it. And then it's a decision to make. So normally how it goes is you hurt something, you get it fixed, or you rest, you rehab, doctor tells coach he's healthy, and you play. That's the norm. You play. And I'll throw Jaden Daniels in this conversation as well, because Washington is out of it, right? Jaden Daniels has had a knee injury, a hamstring injury, and a dislocated elbow on his non-throwing arm. So he's had some injuries this year. So for every player, the normal thought is, you're healthy, you get okay by the doctor, you go play. And that's how we all treat it. And every player wants to play. But quarterbacks are treated differently, right? Especially franchise quarterbacks. And Burrow is a franchise quarterback, and Jaden Daniels is a franchise quarterback. So I think you at least have the discussion that says, do we want these guys who have had injuries that have kept them out for a while to possibly get hurt in a season that's lost and have to rehab in the offseason? Instead of having an offseason where they're recovered and can get ready for next year, have to rehab more if they get hurt. I would guess they would play because that's just what you do. When you're healthy, you play. But the franchise quarterback position, like it's treated differently on the field, would be treated differently off the field. So I would imagine there would be a discussion. There would be no discussion with the players. They want to play.
Mike, I'm looking at all the narratives around this Philadelphia Eagles team, and I'm not sure that this has ever happened before, but is it possible that the most underrated team in the NFL is the defending champions?
I love that. Yes. What a take.
Underrated? I don't know if they're underrated. They're the most talked about winning team in the NFL.
Yeah. That's
for sure. Now with the whispers of the inside people talking about Jalen Hurts, it is amazing. The Jalen Hurts, since I think 22, is 32-1.
Yeah.
When Philly wins the turnover battle. And the one game that they lost, Jalen Hurts got knocked out of. Is he too conservative with his throws at times? Probably most of the time, yes. But guess what? When they don't win the turnover battle, they win. And when they win Super Bowls. They've had success. So this process is working. Now, it's different this year because teams are saying, well, wait, Saquon Barkley rushed for 2,000 yards. We better concern ourselves with stopping the run. And you lose your right guard, Mekhi Becton. Lane Johnson's out. Landon Dickerson's been nicked up, and Cam Jurgens has missed time. So the O-line is not what it was last year. So that has changed. But conservative passing has been part of Jalen Hurts' MO. That's just been part of the process. And oh, by the way, when you raise the Lombardi trophy, the process is working.
Yes.
Mike, when you hear people arguing why Notre Dame is ranked above Miami or why Notre Dame is ranked where it is, how do you sit back and smile? Because it's got to be so much fun when the other people are arguing for you and you're just like, yeah, we lost that game, but listen to what that guy said. We should be ahead of them.
So, as I always say to the Notre Dame haters out there of what happens with Notre Dame in the college football playoff system and that they're independent, why aren't they in a conference? I just say, listen, they don't make the rules. Okay, they're not part of the 13-person committee. They don't do the voting. They didn't hold a gun to anybody's head when the rules were made about them. Talk to the committee about the rankings. So, and as far as independence, come on. They have an easier chance to get in the playoffs, and they don't have to split the money with the conference. Any team that could do that would do that. Michigan's talking about going independent because they don't want that equity investor investing in the Big Ten or the Big 18, whatever the hell they are now, right. And said they would threaten to go independent if that were to happen. You guys may be surprised to hear. I'm a little surprised. Miami beat them head-to-head. Miami beat them head-to-head. A lot of the rankings of schedule power are pretty close. And to use the committee is the one using the comparative clusters where they go 3 or 4 teams and then they go another 3 or 4 teams. And they said they haven't had Notre Dame and Miami in the same cluster to use the head-to-head. What the hell is that? I mean, speaking as an unbiased former player, they played on the field and Miami won. Now, is Notre Dame playing better than Miami now? Probably are, right?
Yeah.
But Miami still beat them. And the reasoning blows my mind. The committee, every year, there is something that moves the goalposts that I just scratch my head. So I kind of understand Miami being upset.
Kind of ranking this cluster right now, the 5 of us.
Yeah, well, that's tough.
Mike, if Notre Dame loses one of their 2 final games, which of those games concerns you the most?
Neither. I mean, neither.
Syracuse and Stanford.
I mean, Syracuse on their backup quarterback, Steve.
Right.
Everybody was looking forward to that Steve Angeli, who started the season and at one point was leading the nation in passing yards, transferred from Notre Dame. Everybody was kind of looking forward to him, quarterbacking against his former team. But he's out, and neither. I think both teams have 3 wins each or something. Let me just say, if Notre Dame loses any one of those games, A, they're out of the playoffs, and B, they don't deserve to be in the playoffs. But they're not going to lose either one of those games.
What'd you make of James Franklin to Virginia Tech?
I mean, not surprising. I mean, right? I mean,
it's a perfect spot for him, Mike. It really is.
What's that?
It's a good spot for him based on where the expectations are right now. They're kind of on a low. They're on a downward spiral.
They are, and it's not the system that he's going to have. They have a running quarterback who leads the team in carries, not a lot of sacks on defense, not a lot of interceptions. So it's going to all matter in this new era of football, how many guys he can get in the portal, what kind of deal, the money they'll be able to hand out, and how quickly he can turn that team around. You can turn a team around quicker than you normally could in college football, but it's still going to take time.
Like, there's this whole report out there that Ole Miss gave Lane Kiffin an ultimatum as to when to decide on a job, which sounds utterly ridiculous. Like, why would you do that if you're Ole Miss? I'm not sure who that necessarily helps there. But Florida, LSU, which job do you like more? Do you believe Lane when he says, of course they haven't given me an ultimatum?
I can't believe Mississippi's in no position to give an ultimatum. Right. Are they?
What do you think? What would Mississippi do if Lane didn't give them an answer by the ultimatum dates?
I mean, it sounds ridiculous. So I don't believe that. If you sit there and you look at the programs, LSU gets the best athletes and they get the most guys that go to the pros. But for some reason, they just haven't been able to get into the playoffs. Could Lane lead them there? Certainly he could. But Lane is in a great position to get an offer. Ole Miss said they'll match any offer, so the money to him would be the same. But there's ancillary things, right? We know there's the 20.5 million that each athletic department gets to disperse amongst all their athletes, so they do that. But what kind of NIL opportunities at each place for the players, which is still a separate entity? Can he get more money for his assistant coaches? How is the training facilities? Lane Kiffin's in a position to get anything he wants. So then it would, if he can get the same at all of them, then it comes down to where geographically he wants to be. Where is his family going to be the happiest? And I say this about coaches and players all the time. Well, it's their choice. Are they moving for family, for geography, for chances to win a championship? He has Ole Miss playing better right now, in a better situation than both LSU and Florida. So you think on the field, he's getting the players. They're going to be in the playoffs. Why would he leave a program that's better off than the other two programs? So I don't know why he would leave Ole Miss, because he's in a position to get whatever he wants at any place.
Mike, would you say if he doesn't leave this time, then he's probably not going to?
Probably not. I mean, because listen, he's going to be the highest paid coach. I forgot, doggone it, I forgot who the highest paid coach was. I just was talking about it yesterday. I think he's making like 13 mil. Lane will make 14 or 15 mil a year.
Why does that sound low?
I mean, that's the easy part, because
Smart.
It sounds low because Nick Saban's not coaching anymore.
Right.
But
it's Kirby
Lane
Smart, Mike. It's Kirby Smart at $13.3 million.
There you go. Thank you. But Lane is in a position to get what a deal Nick Saban had. Nick Saban had in his deal, I'm always the highest paid head coach. So if another coach got a deal that was higher than his, he would go higher. Lane could do that. Lane is in the catbird seat without question. But yes, Mike, to answer your question, if he stays at Ole Miss, he's going to sign a long deal for a lot of money. Now, as we know, that doesn't guarantee you all that time there, but he's pretty much planting his flag there.
I feel like Alabama is the only job right now that might come up that he could eventually want to leave for at some point down the road if he doesn't leave for LSU or Florida.
I mean, and then that's the thing. That's the other thing that comes into an equation with a player or a coach. What's their relationship with the school? I know he coached there, but does he want to go back there? You know, that I don't know. That's something only he knows, especially when he's in a position where he's going to get basically the same thing everywhere he goes. Then it is completely a personal choice.
Lincoln Riley is third on that list at $11.5 million. He's a fraud. I mean, right? I mean, jeez.
They make some money.
Yeah.
They make some money.
Yeah, for not winning. I mean.
Yeah. That's why buyouts are so big.
By the way, Dabo is fourth.
Belichick is ninth.
What?
He's ninth?
Yes. Overpaid, that guy.
Earned it.
What, 10 million a year or something like that?
Yeah, just ahead of Lane Kiffin.
If somehow if Lane Kiffin doesn't give them an answer and Ole Miss is true to their word and they say, Lane, get the fuck out, do you think Brian Kelly will coach Ole Miss in the playoff?
Oh God, no. I do not. I do not
but
think
he wants
so.
to. I mean,
you know who they would probably, if Lane left, they would probably interim maybe Charlie Weiss Jr., who's the offensive coordinator. He would be an unbelievable young interim head coach, but he's on the road to eventually being a head coach in college. But I can't imagine Mississippi putting themselves in that position where they make the playoffs and they don't have Lane as a coach.
Mike, put us where you are, because I know how important this is to you and to Notre Dame. That Texas A&M remain undefeated and remain ranked very. Where were you second half? Texas A&M storming back against South Carolina.
Yeah, I was actually flying to Vegas then to not call a game. I was like, oh my God, no, because already, Oklahoma beating Alabama, that worried me that that Alabama would stay ahead of Notre Dame and Oklahoma would move ahead of Notre Dame. And then if Texas or if A&M were to lose, I think that loss wouldn't be as good a loss. I thought, oh my God, things would not be falling right for Notre Dame, because at this point, both 11 and 12 are trapdoors, right? because the ACC is outside of the top 12 and the group of 5 is outside the top 12. They're going to take the 11 and the 12 spot. Now that's going to change, I think, especially with the ACC. But it gets precarious at 10, 11, and 12. Notre Dame sitting at 9. I doubt they're really going to move up anymore, right? Because of the 2 games they have left. They're probably, they hopefully can stay to 9. And if Miami gets closer, if Miami moves up and gets in the same cluster that the committee talks about, then that head-to-head is going to come into play.
Mike, I know Stu said this wasn't God Bless Football, but I just feel the need to say God bless you.
Yes, yeah. God bless
this episode of Stugotz.
God bless Golics. I mean, yes. How about that? Huh?
How about that?
Yeah.
Always getting the God bless in. I love that.
We love you. I mean, and your voice held up very, very well. It's a good job.
It got better as you went along.
Yes. It did. It definitely feels better. As like I said, as we all know in this business, your voice is your job. So
yes,
tough to lose and sound good when it's scratchy and bad.
Yes. But you were going to try to call that game, and I'm just telling you right now, inside information. Kevin Harlan called it code red. He did. He was just like, I don't want to
listen.
Yeah, I know.
His voice. And then me talking after that would have been horrific. I'd have felt horrible for him.
Well, it must have broke your heart because I know how much you love doing games with Harlan, and you don't get to do them that much.
No,
right?
No, love doing them with Kevin. Yeah, that was a bummer. I was bummed, but it was for the best.
All right, Mike, we appreciate it. Golic and Golic every afternoon on the FanDuel Sports Network. God bless football, Mike. Fuck it.
Yeah, God bless football. God, hell yes.
Stugotz here. It's NBA tip-off week, and FanDuel is your home for live betting. Listen, support the people that support this show, and no one has supported us more than our friends at FanDuel. So even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. However you want to play, now is the perfect time to join because FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So just visit FanDuel.com to sign up today. Play your game with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Must be 21 and older and present in select states or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY New York.
Time now for a sports update on a podcast. Number 11, Alabama upset number 8, Illinois, 90-86, despite a game-high 26 points from Andre Stojakovic. Baby Peja. Jalen Brunson returned from an ankle sprain to lead the Knicks to a 113-111 win over the Dallas Mavericks. And finally, high-heeled shoes were originally designed for soldiers. It's a tough word for me to say. For soldiers is what I was trying to say. How about that?
Really?
A Stojakovic.
I mean, first of all, yes, the Stojakovic is big news that he's a good player. But the update just could have been college basketball has started. And Stugotz would have been, wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, and also you cannot have an upset when we're 5 or 6 games into the season. Number 11, Alabama upset number 8, Illinois, 90-86. Seeing a Stojakovic on the update, and it's not Peja, that makes me feel old. I think I saw a Diop out on the court last night. Is that even possible?
Really?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't think a Diop would make it in sports. I think his dad would just like teach or would just raise like a sommelier or something.
So Stojakovic is on his 3rd team in 3 years. He started at Stanford, he then transferred to Cal, and then this past offseason he transferred to Illinois.
So by the way,
yeah,
I know we're not supposed to talk about it, but sometimes we do. The high heels, are we sure it was for soldiers? Because I was under the impression that they were back in the day when there was shit on the street because it was just horses taking people everywhere, that you have the high heels so you could avoid walking in shit.
So this says high heel shoes originated in medieval Persia as a practical piece of footwear for male cavalry to help secure their feet in stirrups, allowing them to stand and fire arrows more accurately.
I saw that as well, but I didn't think that was the origin of them. But hey, we don't have to sit in this.
Plus, they get a height advantage. I mean,
plus they look good. Forms the buttocks.
My girlfriend sounds like she's going to war every time she puts those things on.
Everybody knows
he's been to war several times. I mean,
everybody knows it's a good advantage in war to be a little bit taller because it's all about posting up your opponent. Speaking of post-ups.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm laughing at the idea that the NBA should be really mad at the Golden State Warriors for not playing anybody yesterday. If you didn't know, they were at the end of a 6-game road trip. It's the second game of a back-to-back. They lost in Orlando the night before. And so in Miami, you get no Jimmy Butler, no Steph Curry, no Draymond Green. And you got a bunch of people complaining. Last year, Stu, when I was there, we did a little bit before that game. So we were talking to a bunch of fans, me and Al Hassan and myself. And one of every 3 people were wearing Steph Curry jerseys. And I would say of those 1 in 3 of those, English wasn't even their first language. Because you talk to them and they'd be like, that's Steph Curry. And I'd be like, wow, this person's never been to a game before. They just want to see Steph Curry. And in Miami, I do feel like, yeah, there could be like a good amount, like I'm saying here, of disappointed fans because they're not going to see him. But I don't really give a shit if I'm a fan of the home team. Really, who's playing on the other side? Like, if I come to a game, whether I have season tickets or whether I'm just coming to one game, like, my big thing is I want to see my team. I want to see my team. And if my team can win, that's a bonus. And if my team can win against an opponent that's really good, double bonus. But if I show up and it's no Steph Curry, it's like, I'm bummed out, but I'm still going to watch and analyze and cheer on my team and say, all right, we're going to get this win anyway. Let's see what happens and how we're going to get this. And I'll take a free win also if I'm a big fan of this team. So I just don't think it's that huge of a complaint because, the people that, they get to see Steph Curry one night a year. Okay, well, maybe you can go somewhere else and watch him, maybe watch him on TV, but at least you got to see your team win a game.
I buy your premise, Izzy. The only problem is, ticket prices change based on who you're playing. So if I'm going to buy, usually most people now are probably buying on secondary markets. If I'm buying tickets and I'm paying extra because the Golden State Warriors are coming to town and I'm going to get to see my team against Steph Curry, then I'm going to be really disappointed that I spent that extra money to not see him.
Right. But that's what I'm saying is if you are only going to the game to see the opponent, it's the risk you take. If you don't at least have the backup option, the fallback option of, all right, at least I'll get to see my team. I'll get a free win out of it. And I could sit there and just really analyze them, even though it's against lesser, opponents. I could analyze them. Again, I'm not saying there isn't any reason to be disappointed. But if that's the one game you're going to and it's all about the other teams, guys, I don't think that's the main reason you should be going to a home game.
It's a star-driven league, you know this, and so Mikey is right. People do that. They see Golden State, they see Steph. They like the Heat. They don't love the Heat. They just want to see Steph Curry play basketball against the Heat, and so that's the game they pay for. They circle it,
do a little research.
Tickets, the whole thing. And you're right. Those are the chances. That you take. But if you're a Heat fan and you get to the game and the other team's stars aren't showing up, that makes the job of your home team easier in terms of winning a basketball game.
You kick back. You probably have an extra beer. You're just like, this team doesn't need me that much.
Dembski guy is the best guy they have on offense.
White Shohei is what we call him, who also said he wants to be as good as Steph Curry.
Yeah, well, he's not.
This doesn't happen often in football, but the way I can equate it really good is baseball. Imagine you're going to buy tickets to the Dodgers, my team against the Dodgers, and Ohtani's going to sit and Freeman's going to sit. You're going to be like, why did I spend this money? I didn't come here to watch, the utility infielder. I came here to see the stars.
Here's the thing, though. In basketball in particular, if you are, like you guys said, circling the date, you're doing it ideally on a Warriors schedule, right? Maybe a little schedule magnet, maybe a little dry erase. Look at the schedule. Look and say, hey, It's the second night of a back-to-back. It's the last game of a road trip. It's
good chance he doesn't play. You're asking fans to do way too much once the schedule comes out.
No, if you're going to buy
your magnet, you just want to stick it on your fridge. You want to circle the Golden State game because Steph Curry's playing. I mean,
if you are doing what Mikey said and spending money for your family to go see it, you're going to do a little bit of research. If you can do that and say, maybe it's less expensive, or maybe I should just try them in another city when I'm there, or another season. But it was all right in front of you right there to be like, probably not going to play this game.
I like to consider myself the voice of the fans. So I'm trying to come up with an idea for the fans. Okay. There should be a star rating for a game. And if teams don't meet that rating or threshold with players out, concessions free, tickets refunded, you lose the TV money for that game.
Wow. So you're the voice of the irrational fan. Tickets. You had me there at concessions are free.
Right up until the TV dollars. I mean,
Well, the TV dollars would be if the road team isn't meeting the star rating. Like you're looking at the star rating before a game, and it's like, oh wait, you just lost Steph Curry and you replaced him with somebody named Guy Santos. Your star rating is plummeting.
I'm thinking of how many teams can't make the star rating with their starting lineup.
That's exactly right. The Wizards.
Put some respect on Guy Santos' name.
I have a solution. Just fucking play basketball. How does that sound? Play 82 games. How does that sound?
Well, I told you before.
Jordan had a 3-year span where he won 3 consecutive NBA Finals, 3 consecutive NBA Finals MVPs, 3 consecutive regular season MVPs. And because they went to the finals, they played a lot of basketball over those 3 seasons. Guess how many games he missed?
Wait. 4.
0.
What? That's a lot of games.
Every night.
That's a lot of games.
The magnet, you circle the calendar because Jordan was coming to town. Guess what? When you showed up to the arena, Michael Jordan was going to play basketball. It's 82 games a year. And I'm sorry, I didn't get angry enough at Steve Kerr when you brought it up. Because Steve Kerr is worried about pace of play and players getting hurt and this and that. He invented the fucking pace of play. The thing that he's worried about is the thing that he invented because they were light years ahead of everyone else. And now that everyone else is doing what Steve Kerr invented, he's upset about it. Yeah. And now, because he can't do it anymore, he is worried about everyone else's health. Get the hell out of here, Kerr.
The definition of a slippery slope. He started the pattern of fast play, but if everybody today or any team today would be playing at that Warriors pace, they'd be last in the league. And so right now, it's like everybody's playing even faster than those Warriors did. And Steve Kerr's like, whoa, everybody slow down.
So, Stu, I'm looking at Michael Jordan's game logs here. Yeah. Starting in 86, 87. 82 games played, 82 games played, 81 games played, 82, 82, 80, 78, retired to play MLB baseball.
Yep. I probably still played 82 games of basketball somehow that year, just not against players in the NBA. Why? Because he fucking cared. Stugotz here for Omaha Steaks. You know how every year you swear you're going to get ahead on holiday gifting, and then suddenly it's December 18th, and you are staring at the candle aisle in full panic mode. I was that person until someone sent me Omaha Steaks one year. Game changer. I remember opening that freezer box like it was Christmas morning. From holiday hosting to unforgettable gifts, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience. You can gift family and friends USDA certified tender steaks, juicy burgers, cozy comfort meals, so much good stuff. And right now, during their Sizzle All the Way sale, and I love a good Sizzle All the Way sale, you can get 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $35 off with promo code COMPANY at checkout. That is company, all capitalized, COMPANY, for those of you who don't know how to spell company. And I'm telling you from experience, this isn't just good steak. This is great steak. This is steak you literally can't mess up. If I could do it, anyone could do it. The first time I cooked their filet mignons, I salted them, seared them in a cast iron pan, and finished them in the oven. Absolutely amazing, delicious, and so easy. Holiday magic made easy Orders placed by 6 p.m. Eastern ship same day. Plus, 5 generations of family expertise. Omaha Steaks has been America's original butcher since 1917. Save big on gourmet gifts and more holiday favorites with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Sizzle All the Way sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code COMPANY at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. That's omahasteaks.com, code COMPANY.